Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is coming from the United States Supreme Court, where justices temporarily blocked a court decision that prevents patients from obtaining the key abortion pill mifepristone by mail. The court put on hold a decision issued by a Texas-based U.S. district judge that had handed a sweeping victory to abortion opponents.
Both the Justice Department and Danco Laboratories, which makes the drug, had asked the court to immediately step in. Justice Samuel Alito said the hold would remain in effect until midnight on Wednesday. That gives the justices time to consider what next steps to take. But the decision means that for at least now, women can still obtain mifepristone by mail as this legal battle continues. Our other top story here at 5, new information into a shooting on Detroit's west side. Police now say 2 14-year-olds and 2 adults were wounded in the incident.
And we've also learned an argument over a package delivery may have set this whole thing off. Paula Tutman spent the day working to get answers.
So let me give you some longitude and latitude. So this is Penrod right here. This is where the shooting took place. This is Schoolcraft. It's a major thoroughfare. You can see in the background, there are children playing. This is a family neighborhood. And I talked to one neighbor. She said she's afraid of her neighbors. She says they clearly don't care about life. They don't care about anything else around them. She said when the gunshots started, she actually dove under her bed to get away from them.
My children, I keep them off this corner right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the old school. You can't go past this tree or you can't go past that bush.
Late this morning, Detroit police continued canvassing the neighborhood, looking for information on the shootout last night in the 13,000 block of Penrod on Detroit's west side. Police say more than 30 shots were fired from one side of the street and back to the other. Neighbors say it sounded like war.
Like Beirut, it sounded like a whole war going on. Sounded like chaos. Last night was crazy.
Neighbors dove for cover. When the shooting stopped, 4 people were shot, 2 of them 14-year-olds, 1 shot in the face in serious condition. Also, a 30-year-old and a 31-year-old. One of those shot is a suspect under arrest in the hospital, though police are working to sort out who was a shooter, who might be both shooter and shooting victim, and who might be an innocent bystander.
That's crazy because the people got shot at down there. I knew them like we knew of them, but we didn't know them.
Early evidence suggests the shootout was triggered by upset over a delivery.
I heard a lot of shots, and next thing I knew, the street was full of police cars.
The firing zone, family homes with children. The suspects, with no regard of that, apparently chasing one another between houses, guns firing, leaving a trail of blood through the neighborhood yards.
They seen blood in several people's backyards because people were running, and I guess they were trying to run from the gunshots.
4 weapons have been recovered, assorted long guns, and possibly even pistols. Yeah, while lots of weapons, lots of bullets, 6th Precinct police are still trying to do the math. But this is really important because here's the catch-22. Neighbors I talked to say they are afraid to talk about this because they don't know if all the suspects have been gathered up. Even police don't know if all the suspects have been gathered up, yet they need people in that neighborhood to really talk about this so they can figure out whether or not they've gotten all of the suspects and whether or not they should be looking for others. Just a really tough situation in that community, guys.
And this is often the problem. People are afraid to speak up, and you can understand why. Paula, we appreciate your story this evening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A fire at an apartment complex today in Sterling Heights grew so quickly other departments had to be called in to help. Happened late this morning on Independence Drive just off Van Dyke between 17 and 18-mile roads. Tim Pamplin there today as crews work to put it out.
Firefighters from Sterling Heights and Macomb Township wrapping up here at this fire at the Balmoral Arms apartment complex at 17.5 and Van Dyke. This is what one resident saw when she looked out her window this morning.
Fucking bad, dude.
Firefighters quick on the scene, evacuating the building and getting to work battling the flames.
They had somewhat of a little bit of a collapse action. Also at that point we noted that the fire had made its way through the roof.
And I looked out in the hallway and there was smoke everywhere.
Smoke quickly filling the entire complex here. When the evacuation order came in, some residents were hesitant to leave.
Yeah, because I have my cat in there still. I had 2 of them in there and they found one, but the other one, no. They wouldn't let me stay to find her.
We did lose approximately 8 units here. heavy fire damage to the first top 4 and smoke and water damage to the bottom 4 units.
So back out here, you see one of the fire investigators up there. We believe that's the apartment where the fire originated. Again, 8 units, 8 families without a home this evening. As we zoom in over here, there they are, talking to members of the Red Cross and the apartment complex here. Trying to get those folks rehoused, and the hunt goes on for the cause, and of course, those missing pets. That is the scene in Sterling Heights this afternoon. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Yeah, okay, Tim. Graduate student employees at the University of Michigan continue their strike today while celebrating the university's injunction denial.
The university was seeking an injunction to force graduate workers back onto the job, but a judge decided to deny that request. The organization held a strike party for undergrad students on campus to celebrate, but graduate workers said their job isn't over yet.
Grad workers are an essential part of the university. Their work is absolutely essential. And for us all, being able not to worry too much about how we're going to pay the rent or even food, it's basic, and it's what having to worry about those things, it kind of takes a huge toll on our profession.
GEO's been on strike since March 29th, demanding better pay and better safety in the workplace.
2 teens are in police custody accused of carjacking a man and then barricading in a home. Happened around 3 this morning on Detroit's west side. Police say the man who was carjacked left a phone in the car, which police were able to track to a nearby home. That's when police say they heard a gunshot from the home and began negotiating with the people inside. The 2 teens surrendered to police and were taken into custody, as well as 2 adults who were inside the home. Well, the traffic headaches are going from bad to migraine level. We haven't even made it to summer yet.
I know. Take a live look here. I-696 from our Southfield Skycam. Westbound lanes of that freeway closing down tonight, and that's just one item on a pretty long list. Nick Monticelli shows us why getting around this weekend could be tricky.
Take a look. You'll see a lot of the cones already up here. This is just to kind of get traffic moving around. The problem is potholes. We know that. We know we have problems with potholes. But this time the problem is because they've got more potholes in new areas. If you didn't know spring was here, just look at all the construction barrels clogging Metro Detroit. This weekend's project is yet another one causing headaches. The westbound lanes of 696 will be closed from Telegraph to 275. Those closures are from 8 o'clock tonight until 5 a.m. Monday morning. Also, the westbound lanes of I-96 will be closed from 275 to Beck Road. That's happening Saturday between 4 a.m. and 7 p.m. All of it is for patchwork.
They're all doing pothole patching, but major pothole patching with some hot mix asphalt now that the plants are open, and that mixture will hopefully help hold that roadway together, both those freeways together, while we rebuild the eastbound sides.
MDOT's Diane Cross says the repairs are needed because of the already ongoing construction. The eastbound lanes are already being worked on, and that eastbound traffic got moved to the westbound lanes, meaning vehicles tearing up different parts of the road.
Folks are driving on the seams, on the shoulders, and all of that is just slowly crumbling away. We've had potholes, we've had people with flat tires, so we're hoping by closing all of westbound this weekend, we can get some major fixes on that westbound side. We hope by closing all of westbound this weekend that should be it. That'll hold us up until the end of the year, when we then will rebuild westbound next year.
All right, back out here again looking at that traffic moving around. MDOT's got some warnings to pass along, especially because of the detours. They're saying because there are so many construction projects going on, especially in this area, that those normal detours of 8 mile, 10 mile, 12 mile, they're going to see considerable backup. So the detours are going to be problems on the road. So just give yourselves a whole lot of time if you're getting around Oakland County this weekend. We're in Southfield. Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
Also, don't forget there's still going to be lane closures on both sides of I-75 through the southern part of Oakland County. A lot to keep in mind. Now to the weather. Live pictures from our Windsor Skycam. It is 83 degrees in Detroit today, in the middle of April.
Yeah, folks are getting outside, enjoying it. New video just in from Belle Isle. Look at this, a perfect spot to cool off. But be ready, because the forewarned weather team, of course, tracking a big change on the way, and that includes the threat of some storms.
Let's get things over to Kim here. A threat of severe weather, right?
Yes, some thunderstorms for Sunday, so that's why it's important for us to just soak up these last rays of sunshine tonight and through at least part of the day tomorrow. 80 degrees in Detroit. We did break a record out at Metro Airport today. We hit 82 at 2:45 this afternoon. The record was 81. It is 81 degrees right now in Howell, 80 in Pontiac, and 82 in Adrian. Severe weather risk extends all the way from Detroit way down to the south of us. We'll zoom in for you here, and we're in a marginal risk. The risk level goes from marginal all the way to high. So on the 5 scale, we are only at a 1 for Sunday. And the main threat from this severe weather that we could get on Sunday would just be some high gusty winds, a low threat for hail, maybe a little bit of flooding, as we do expect some pretty decent downpours in a short period of time. Risk for tornadoes or any kind of rotation pretty low from this system. But it's a powerful cold front that's going to bring us some much cooler air. Right now we'll just enjoy the 80s, but it does look like things are going to change rapidly when it comes to temperatures, from 74 Sunday down to 48 for a high on Monday. But I'll talk about a warm up at the end of next week coming up in the forecast, and you can always check it out for yourself right now. Just go to your favorite app store and download the free 4Warn Weather app.